How we doing, everybody? Sam here, Monday morning, MUFC Daily. How was your weekend? Manchester United beat Spurs 1-0. A very comfortable win as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned. Spurs without Harry Kane, they were pretty limp going forwards. But Manchester United have now got to move on because we've got a big week of games coming up. We have got Benfica this week at home in the Champions League. We're on 9 points. If we can beat Benfica, we're basically through into the knockout rounds of the Champions League. And that is what Jose Mourinho will want, so that we can take it kind of easy in the last two games. But coming up on Sunday, probably the biggest game of the season as far as Jose Mourinho is concerned. Manchester United against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. We know what happened there last year. We conceded after 20 seconds and then it was painful. A very painful performance. We got battered. Jose Mourinho got embarrassed. Not a good look at all at Stamford Bridge. And Manchester United at the moment, as good as we have been over the course of the season, last few games, Man United have looked pretty poor in terms of creativity from midfield. And a major reason for that is Paul Pogba has been out of action since September. Now, Jose Mourinho has given an update on Paul Pogba. And as far as I'm concerned, it is bad news. This is what Jose Mourinho had to say about Paul Pogba's injury update. He said, Marcus Rojo is training with me, albeit with certain conditions. And because he is training with me, I can say I expect him to be back after the international break. I can predict that because he is training with me. I have no idea about Paul's recovery. I'm not in control of his recovery process. He's not training with me. He is on individual work. And when a player is on individual work and not in my group, not even in certain conditions can I predict his return. Herein lies the problem with Paul Pogba. He's been out since September after hobbling off with a hamstring injury. I think it was against Basel in the Champions League. We've been told that Chelsea away was the time where hopefully Paul Pogba is going to be back in action for Manchester United. But the reality is there's bad news because we don't have any idea when Paul Pogba is going to be back. Leave a comment now saying, Pogba, if you think that Jose Mourinho is just playing mind games, that Paul Pogba will be back against Chelsea this weekend and it'll be Matic and Pogba in midfield at Stamford Bridge. Personally, I don't think so. I don't think Pogba's going to be rushed back until he is absolutely ready to play. And that's my own opinion. But let's run into the comments. There's lots of you watching here. We've got Glenn Butcher on Facebook. Good morning, buddy. We've got Mareg watching from Melbourne. Good morning to you too. We've got Young Bobo watching from Istanbul in Turkey, and Maxon Lowe on Facebook, as always, watching from Malaysia. Good morning. And David watching from India. Let's jump on the YouTube comments now here. We've got Raj Kumar saying that I think we need Pogba badly. I don't think we can win Chelsea away with Herrera. Would be great if we can get Fellaini back too. Maybe we can get Fellaini back too. Fellaini, prior to him being injured, he was in fantastic form. So Fellaini coming back would certainly be a big, big bonus for Manchester United as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe to United People's TV as well. If you're on Facebook, drop a like on the page. But how is everybody feeling now going into this Chelsea game at the weekend? You know, no disrespect to Benfica, but I've got one eye on the Chelsea game already. Because we've won our first three games in the Champions League, we can focus on the Premier League. That should be Man United's big, big priority. And beating Tottenham Hotspur now means we're 3 points ahead of them in the Premier League. We're still 2 points behind Man City. No, 5 points behind Man City. Shit the bed. We're still 5 points behind them. They are flying at the moment. Man City on 28 points, United on 23, Tottenham on 20, and Chelsea just behind on 19. So if we can beat Chelsea on Sunday, we'll go 7 points clear of Chelsea after 11 games. That is a decent little lead. But I don't know whether or not we will. How confident are you feeling? Obviously, Chelsea beat Bournemouth at the weekend, a 1-0 win. It could have been 3 or 4. Morata had a goal that was offside, ruled out when it shouldn't have been. Hazard, hey, he had big chances, big misses, but Hazard scored ultimately the goal that made the difference for Chelsea. But how confident are you that Manchester United, because Stamford Bridge, let's be honest, we've had a bad record there for a long time. The only time I can remember winning there was when Javier Hernandez got an offside winner. Now, I think that's when Van Persie scored 2 early goals. But other than that, Man United's record, I think we had that mad, when we played Chelsea in, the League Cup semi-final and the FA Cup, and we played them twice within a 5-day period. I can't remember what the fuck it was. But I remember going to Stamford Bridge and it was a mad, 4-4 game. Chelsea away is not my favourite game of the season at all. You know, Anfield is definitely the biggest on paper, but would hazard to say that Chelsea away is probably the hardest. Paul Zeno on YouTube saying, any news about Fellaini? There are quite a few of you actually asking about Marouane Fellaini. At this time, we don't know about Fellaini. I think he's been training. I'm not sure if he's been in full training with the squad, but his injury wasn't as severe as Paul Pogba's was. His hamstring injury was certain to rule him out for a long period of time, but we expected Fellaini to be back a little bit sooner. Fingers crossed he is, because I love Ander Herrera. I've even done a video specifically saying how much I love Ander Herrera. But you've got your red tinted glasses on if you cannot say that Herrera right now is in particularly poor form. Herrera alongside Matic, I don't know what he's doing wrong. I don't know what's wrong with him, but his passing seems off. His energy seems off. His tackles seem off. The things that I normally expect from Ander Herrera that he does every single week, he's not doing at the moment. And Nemanja Matic is running the midfield effectively on his own. Matic was wonderful against Tottenham Hotspur. I had a different seat at Old Trafford on Saturday, and I saw a lot more of the game. I saw how high Spurs' line was, all the balls that Young was playing in behind for Lukaku and Rashford, and I was watching Herrera, and he's just doing all the little things wrong. I don't know whether it's because he feels he needs to play above himself to force his way back into Jose Mourinho's plans. I mean, he was our player of the year last year. He's just been a little bit out of form, and I can't really get my head around why that is the case. Let's head back to Facebook and a few more of your comments. Saying Man United against Chelsea is going to be tricky, just like Spurs. It will be, and I would hazard to guess that it will be harder, because Chelsea are at home. Spurs without Kane was always going to be an easier task than Spurs with Kane, but Morata's back for Chelsea. Hazard's now scoring again. They look ready to push themselves back up towards the top of the league after what was a shaky start to the season with Burnley. That's my own opinion. We've got Alex Angel saying, I hope Jose Mourinho is just winding up the press with his mind games about Paul Pogba. But I think he will rest a lot of players midweek, and I think it'll be a confident win over Chelsea. As I said, I can't remember the last time we had a confident win over Chelsea at Old Trafford. Last year, no, sorry, not Old Trafford, at Stamford Bridge. Last year at Old Trafford was when we, probably one of our games of the season, when we played with Lingard and Rashford up front as a 3-5-2 formation, surprised everybody, and it was a tactical masterclass. Pretty much what we did against Spurs on Saturday. But Man United at home this season, played 5, won 5, scored 15, conceded 0. Old Trafford is becoming a fortress again. And Man United, yes, we lost against Huddersfield, but we followed that up with back-to-back wins against Swansea and Chelsea. People going way too hard to that 2-1 loss against Huddersfield. I think it followed some frustrations after the 0-0 away to Liverpool, because we didn't play good football. Against Spurs, I feel we played good football at points. Yes, it was a game where you saw Manchester United squeeze the space out and stop Spurs playing. But had we not done that, we may have lost 4-1 like Liverpool did the week before. This Spurs team is one of the best footballing teams in the Premier League. Mourinho respected that and set his team up accordingly. And we got a 1-0 win. Lukaku hit the post. Lingard was straight through for a 2-0 right at the end. It could have been more. The only one Spurs chance I remember and I was worried about was when the ball was curled in towards Dele Alli and he couldn't get his foot on it. Other than that, Man United were in total control. Let's go back to the YouTube comments. Got Ragad saying Herrera's poor form has led to Mickey's drop of form. Mickey clearly needs the creativity or some sort of control in midfield through Fellaini. They're separate issues. Mkhitaryan is in a bad run of form at the moment as well, but so is Ander Herrera. They're not linked. I don't think they're linked anyway. I think it's both down to the individual players just not living up to their own expectations. Mkhitaryan got 6 assists in August. Other than that, he's been off the boil. And yes, not having Paul Pogba there, that I would say is closely linked to Herrera being out of form. And sorry, I've said that completely wrong. Paul Pogba being injured is closer linked to Mkhitaryan being out of form. I don't know why that was so hard to say, rather than Ander Herrera. That's my own opinion on it. I think Mkhitaryan will come back into form. I'm not throwing him under the bus. Mourinho will not throw him under the bus. But against Chelsea, we need Mkhitaryan to play better. If Herrera starts, he needs to play better. But Paul Pogba, by the sounds of it, unless Mourinho is pulling one over the media, he's not going to be fit and ready to play against Chelsea on Sunday. And that's a big, big blow. Will Marouane Fellaini be back? I hope he does, because when Marouane Fellaini was, just before he got injured, he was bang in form, and we need that again. As I always want to say, thank you for watching MUFC Daily on United People's TV. Make sure you hit that like button on YouTube and Facebook, and if you're new, subscribe to either the page on Facebook or subscribe to United People's TV on YouTube. I'll be here later on today on Facebook and YouTube again, because there's so much football going on at the moment. We're playing Benfica, so we'll have our prediction and the starting 11 prediction going out for that. But thank you all for joining in today. Monday morning, 1-0 for Man United against Spurs at the weekend. Great result. But Paul Pogba, it sounds like he's not going to be back fit to play Chelsea at the weekend. Take it easy, everybody.